Do I go before the music?
Yeah, before the music, yeah.
I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
Welcome to We Watched a Thing. You're with me, Dave, and him, Billy.
That's not. That comes after.
Oh, fuck with you. I haven't done this in months.
This is all going
the
in the
following
bloopers.
podcast. Okay, yeah. The following podcast contains.
Hang on, wait, let's start that again.
Oh, this is a disaster already. You're like Matthew Vaughn trying to make a movie.
Oh, shade thrown.
Oh, fucking hell. The following podcast contains fucking you do it.
The following podcast contains. Oh fuck! No, I can't do it.
Spoilers. Something about spoilers.
All right. The following podcast contains spoilers, swear words, and cats. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing, where we have just spent the last 15 minutes trying to start this podcast, and both of us could not remember the word spoilers for the life of us.
Oh my god! I think I've had a fucking aneurysm.
Oh man, watching a bad movie will do that to your brain. But how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good. Let's get straight into this one then. We are talking this week about Argylle, a 2024 spy action comedy film directed and produced by Matthew Vaughn and written by Jason Fuchs. It's a pretty massive ensemble cast that features Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell dancing, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, Henry Cavill, Sophia Boutella, Dua Lipa, Ariana DeBose, John Cena, and Samuel L. Jackson. Seriously a stacked cast. And what is it about, Dave?
Nominally about a mystery spy writer who seemingly her books are too prescient and clever and actual spies kidnap her. That's not actually the case, thankfully, I guess. And there's some crazy shenanigans that go on and allegiances ebb and flow and characters change sides, and it's all about the friends they made along the way.
Well, and
there's a cat.
Yeah, let's get straight into it then, because I know that both you and I, from memory, were pretty excited for this one. I was looking forward to it.
This was in my probably top 10 most anticipated of 2024.
Yep. It was Wayne from the Countdown. It was his number one most anticipated of this year. I'll be curious to hear what he has to say at some point.
He probably loved it.
I was really looking forward to it. And I had a great day yesterday. I knocked off work early and I went to the cinemas. I saw May December. Then I met some friends for some beer and fried chicken, and then saw this. And this is the worst movie I've seen this year, 100%. I don't know how you feel about it.
I cannot see a world where this is not in the worst of the year when we get to December of this year.
Yeah.
This movie is a fucking hot mess.
I don't see a point us holding our cards any further. I hadn't spoken to you before this podcast, but I could tell as soon as we hit record that we both felt the same way. This movie's just bad, and it made me so sad because it's a great cast. It's a kind of cool concept. It's really poorly executed. It's really poorly written. It's really poorly made.
The concept actually got better as the movie went on. The first, and props to Matthew Vaughn on the marketing, where we all thought the trailer gave too much away until he said, no, everything in the trailer is from the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Which it is. And the movie does then attempt to have twists and turns. I found this utterly predictable. There wasn't a single plot beat that I didn't see coming a mile away.
Yeah.
But, props to him for doing that with the trailer and only doing the one trailer as well.
I mean, this hasn't happened to me in a long...
This is the worst film he's ever made.
This hasn't happened to me in a long time, but I drifted off in the cinema in the last half hour because this movie, apart from just being poorly executed and poorly written, is way too fucking long. But the entire last hour is an action sequence that is not very well realized. It's really badly shot and badly choreographed. The CG in this film is atrocious from start to finish. I just found this movie really hard to watch. It just was not really enjoyable in any way, shape, or form. When we spoke the other week about Mean Girls, and you thought for sure that was going to be one of the worst films we saw this year, and I said, nah, this has already beaten that easily, miles and miles worse. This is...
I'm torn.
As far as spy thriller comedies go, this is at least 10 times worse than Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre. I'd watch that 20 times before I watch this again.
I would watch it before I watch this. I think 20 times is a bit of a stretch.
Well, that's Carrie Always in it. And you know how I feel about him.
Then again, Dua Lipa.
Okay, let's start here then. Is there anything about this film that you did like? Let's start with that.
Oh, look, I don't think any of the cast are doing bad work.
No, I think some of them are doing quite good work. I think Sam Rockwell in particular is really fun in this film.
He is basically playing exactly the same character he plays in Mr. Right, which is something I would watch 20 times before watching this again.
Yeah.
Look, unlike Matthew Vaughn's previous worst film in his career, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, which is also a giant bag of ass, in that, most of the cast are doing fucking atrocious work. The acting is terrible as well as the writing, direction, and everything else. Sam Jackson is a fucking embarrassment in that film. In this, he's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, he got a big paycheck to sit and watch basketball for most of the movie, but
yeah.
But all the cast I think are fine. I liked Bryce. I liked Sam. Cavill's over the top, but he's kind of meant to be because it's that's the nature. Yeah, honestly, that's the nature of
the MVP of this film for me is John Cena. I actually didn't know he was in this. I can't remember if that was in any of the marketing, but
because he's only in it for about 40 seconds.
But he steals the show.
2 lanes of done.
When we cut to him in that opening scene, he absolutely
with his coffee.
Oh, when he just picks her up off the motorbike, that was easily the funniest bit in the film. He was the funniest part of this film for me every time he popped up for 30, 40 seconds. Because I don't think this movie is funny at all. I think it's written really poorly. I think this is one of the worst written films I've seen in a long time. Like, not just structurally and, the plotting and everything, but just the dialogue. It's just a really badly written film. And
it's fucking terrible.
I don't know. Look, I know I'm going to piss people off here, as I always do. I don't know if you saw all the conspiracy theories from Taylor Swift fans who were convinced that she wrote this. It's poorly written enough, I'd believe that. Yeah,
look, I did read that only because the minute the credits started rolling, I bolted from the cinema, and then I thought, there's probably some post-credits bullshit, which I Googled and then read what I'd missed.
Yeah, it's a Kingsman tie-in, which I haven't seen any of the Kingsman films, so I had no idea what was going on.
Did you see it?
I saw the post-credits scene, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it seemingly attempting to tie this into that universe, which makes zero fucking sense because you've got more than one cast member who plays a different character in those other films, which is just fucking mind-numbingly dumb. So, I missed that, but I don't care. I'm hoping it's not the start of something, and I'm really hoping it's not trying to tie that into the Kingsman franchise because Golden Circle aside, which is a giant steaming turd. The other 2 films I genuinely really liked. I know a lot of people didn't like The King's Man much, but I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it.
Well, from what I know, this already has a sequel greenlit because this is I don't even know what's true and what's not. So this is supposedly based on the 4th book in a series, but none of the books not even
whatever
it is
that Wayne said is part of the marketing bullshit.
Well, that's what I believe. I believe it's all part of the marketing spin because the initial.
Yeah, the initial sort of story was that this was based on a story actually written by an authoress called Ellie...
and everyone knows that that's fake. Ellie Conway. Everyone knows that that's not real. That's who people thought was Taylor Swift.
I think part of that story is that she had written 6 or 7 books. This was the 4th one.
Yeah.
That's just one of... not the only Star Wars... homage because there's a very blatant one in the film itself, but I think that's that episode 4 thing that's just a little Star Wars
because the other part of the post-credit scene is that then it ends with Argylle Book 1 the movie coming soon. And I do believe that at least 1 more, if not 2 more, have been greenlit already by Apple, which I wouldn't be surprised if they cancelled them after this because this movie is not going to do well.
I think there'll be at least 1 more. I think Apple will have paid so much to have this.
Well, the word on the street is 200 mil. But again, I don't know how much of that is marketing spin because their claim is that most of that was purchasing the rights to the series. And I think all that is fake. So I don't know if anyone actually knows what the true budget of this film is.
I think a lot of money changed hands for this to be a Apple thing,
Right.
and obviously it's got its theatrical window for awards.
No.
Dear.
I don't. Surely it's got a theatrical window because they thought it would make money. They don't.
I think
this is
it's
get
because
any awards.
Apple want to get to where Netflix is, and Netflix
Yes.
is at a point where a Netflix original can open theatrically and be successful. This ain't fucking Roma.
No. See, but Apple were Killers of the Flower Moon. So, like, they've done that. They've been there.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, they don't need to do this bullshit.
This is probably...
This is their answer
had
to
a
Glass
longer
Onion,
gestation,
probably.
and they would have signed this and done all of that before Scorsese even
I reckon
started shooting.
This is their answer to Glass Onion, which, again, you're talking about a quote-unquote spy comedy, I guess. So, yeah, I just don't think that any of this
is
lands.
so far... Like, Matthew Vaughn annoys me. When he first was sort of hitting the ground as a director rather than a producer, because obviously he initially was a producer on things like Lock, Stock and the Guy Ritchie stuff, and started directing and obviously did what he knew and did Layer Cake, which, as far as I'm concerned, is on par with the early Ritchie stuff. That's a really good fucking movie. Then he did Stardust, which is about as close to a perfect movie as Princess Bride is. That movie is fucking great. Kick-Ass. Awesome film.
Great film.
X-Men First Class. Look, X-Men First Class ain't fantastic, but it was better than every X-Men movie that came before it, so he did what he could. Then he did Kingsman, which was a fucking revelation in the spy. First fun spy film we'd had almost since the Roger Moore days of Bond.
Yeah.
But it was fun in a modern sense. And ever since then, the fucking wheels have fallen off, with the exception of The King's Man, which I did enjoy.
Yeah.
But Golden Circle and this film are such horrendously bad films.
Yeah.
It's making me question his entire fucking career. Well, and that's terrible because I loved his first three films.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because you said that you felt like at least the plotting and stuff got better as the film went on.
Let me clarify.
Yeah, okay.
It didn't get good, but I did like the fact that it was, because the first sort of third of the film, the bit that's in the trailer and the bit that what you think you're going to see is Sandra Bullock's Lost City.
Yeah.
It's almost identical in plotting.
True. And you're right.
It's the author whose books are actually true or whatever.
Yes.
And it's not original. And I liked the fact that that was kind of a red herring. And
to an extent,
but none of as soon as they flick that switch, there are no surprises or twists or anything. It's all completely predictable. The writing's terrible.
Oh, 100%.
I knew the parents. I knew not only that the parents weren't the I knew that they were going to be bad. I knew exactly that she was going to be she was actually the agent and all of that. The only thing I didn't predict was the terrible joke that Argylle is because her name was actually Argylle or fucking R. Kelly or whatever her fucking name was.
Yeah, yeah.
Not funny, on the nose, just awful.
Yeah, I agree completely. And here's where I go. The problem with that marketing ploy then of only using
you've got to be able to land the plane, and they flew it into the fucking
and
side of the mountain.
Here's the problem, because you're right. The entire first 30 minutes, which I actually think is the best part of the film, is the part that you have seen everything in from the trailer. Because like the trailer shows you that entire first 30-minute sequence. So it's like by the time you get to the twist, you're done being interested because the rest of the film is just shit anyway. Yeah. But
do you recall, because I know you didn't hate the Sandy Bullock Lost City.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I saw it twice.
It was perfectly fine. That also opens with a book reading, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, I would love to give Matt Vaughn the benefit of the doubt that was deliberate, that he was wanting to lead people down the path of thinking, this is just a rip-off of that film. I've seen this all. And then throw a big twist in, and the twist was shit. But, I don't even have the confidence to give him that credit. I just... I think it was inadvertently a ripoff.
I think so too. I agree with you.
Because the rest of it is that bad.
Yeah, and it's a real shame because, like, I adore Bryce Dallas Howard. I love her, and I think
she's lovely. She was gorgeous in this.
But I don't think
until the fucking makeover at the end with the blonde hair, which I didn't like that. I liked proper BDH with the red hair and curves.
This movie just honestly it did so little for me that we've only been recording for 16 minutes and I almost have nothing left to say because I just don't see the point.
I've got heaps more to hate on.
Well,
are you done with the hate?
You keep going then because I get this way. To me, it's like talking about a movie that you love. I find so much easier when it's a movie that you hate. After this amount of time, I'm like, yeah, it's just bad. I don't see a point in talking about it anymore. Like, I can tell you right now, I'm not recommending this movie to anybody. Like, there's nobody I would recommend this movie to. Even people who like this genre, I'm not recommending this movie to them because it's terrible.
I would recommend it to people I actively dislike and I want them to waste some of their life.
Yeah, and it's a fucking waste. I honestly, this movie felt longer than The Irishman. I feel like I'm still sitting in the cinema. That's how fucking long it is. I saw it last night, and fucking 24 hours later, I feel like I'm still sitting there because it just never fucking ends, and the action scenes are so bad and long. Can we talk about the CGI for a minute? I know
I expected you to rant for 45 minutes on the CGI alone. I was just going to turn my mic off and sit back.
I'm not going to rant for ages, but here's my biggest problem with it is that it gives it a bad name. This is the problem with it because people look at this movie.
This movie is so bad that it brings the whole industry of computer generated imaging into disrepute.
Because here's the thing. People watch this movie. I've seen several articles already talking about the needless CGI. Because you could argue that. Like, there are entire scenes in this movie where the entire backdrop, the entire set is so clearly fake and very badly put together. Here's the thing. That's not needless. And in a lot of cases, that works so well you don't even notice it. It's in a movie like this where it sticks out so badly that it makes people go, oh, needless CGI. Like, go rewatch fucking Great Gatsby. Now, I don't like Baz Luhrmann, and I don't think that movie's fantastic, but that's a fake mansion. The entire mansion is not real. It's made in CG. But I'm not
going to go and watch that film. I said to you before, I take your word for it because I know you're intimately associated with it. But I not only do I accept that I am friends with someone that has anything to do with a Baz Luhrmann film, which, on a small level irks me anyway.
Yeah. The best thing he ever did was Strictly Ballroom, and everything since then has been terrible.
And even that was mediocre.
But when you look at the CG of that film, it doesn't stand out like this film does. Honestly, one of the most shocking things I ever saw was when I kind of first started working in VFX, and I went and watched a VFX sizzle reel of the show Ugly Betty, which there are entire scenes of that show which are filmed on a green screen. And
doesn't that show exist on the premise that America Ferrera is ugly?
Yeah.
Surely there's a lot of CG involved just in that.
But it's like, I remember seeing a sequence of her talking on a phone in a phone booth and she's standing on a green screen. And you look at it and go, well, why? But the truth is, in a lot of cases, it's a logistical thing. Like trying to lock down a street just to film a shot of someone on a phone booth, it makes more sense to CG it. But in that show, it's executed well enough that it doesn't look bad. In this, you've got such simple set pieces that just look fucking awful, and it ruins it for everybody. I can't. I'm not going to rant for 45 minutes because I'm going to stop myself doing that. But I mean, fuck me, this is some bad looking CGI. Like every single scene sticks out, and not just. Don't even get me started on the cat. But like, just the worst bit is the scenery.
Are you telling me they didn't throw a cat 3 stories in the air at a camera? I don't believe it.
All right, what's something you want to whinge about?
Oh, look, I had a moment where I went, this is a small touch of early Matthew Vaughn where it, kind of like Edgar Wright, you get a sense this guy has similar tastes to me.
Yeah.
Based on the work he's done. And back in the Stardust Kick-Ass days, I was like, this is someone from my generation who grew up with comics and the movies that I like, and I can tell that from the work that he's doing. And there's one moment where he's recreated Vader's entry the first scene from Episode 4, Star Wars Episode 4.
Yeah.
You've got all of the brown shirt rebels lined up, hiding behind sort of corridor entrances with their guns, waiting for the bad guys to come through the door, or in our case, the good guys. The door opens, there's smoke and whatever, and they're coming through, and I thought, that's such an awesome touch. A Star Wars fan will get it. No one else will notice there's anything there. It's subtle enough. I love it. It's then followed by the worst scene in the film, which is the biggest bukkake of fucking bad CGI I've ever seen in my life, which kind of ruined all of the good grace that he had, and then some, because that set piece is fucking abysmal. Yeah. It's one of the worst things I have ever seen in a film in my life. Yeah. It has no reason for being there, and it made me think back to the first Kingsman film, where you've got a great big sort of CG action set piece finale where everyone's heads are exploding in slow motion, all the rich people, it's blood, it's gore, it's over the top, but it's funny. B, if you take the slow-mo and the soundtrack out of it, it's not over the top. It makes sense. The plot's been leading up to it. You know that all these people are, you thought maybe they'd get saved. They weren't, but this is exactly what was going to happen. It's not over the top. It just looks that way because of the way it's presented. And it makes sense within the world of the film. The fucking finale action piece in this...
That's when I drifted off.
With the coloured smoke and the fucking slow-mo dance, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's badly done. It doesn't make sense within the world of the film. It goes on 5 times longer than it should do. It's not funny. It's not good action. There's no over-the-top violence.
Yeah.
There is nothing positive to be said about it.
I agree.
It's just awful.
I mean, look.
And the fucking transporter homage thing with the oil slick, with the skating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you slept through that bit or not.
I woke up just as she was like, ice skating, was that memory real? And just like rammed the knives on her
feet. The minute she said, I was like, please don't do it. Please don't. No, don't do it.
Yeah.
Fucking awful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Hang on. Look, I just got a Big Tizzle's Big Call.
I actually love this film.
Not only do I think that this movie is 10 to 20 times worse than Rouge de Guerre, this is easily worse than any old shit like Red Notice. I'd watch Red Notice again before this.
Oh yeah, Red Notice was just an offensive waste of money and not great. But it was watchable.
You pick you pick any of these bad spy thriller comedies from the last 10 to 20 years, I'll watch it before this. Whatever the one with Murder Mystery, fucking Adam Sandler and whatever it is.
So
I'll watch that again before this in a second.
No.
In a heartbeat. I haven't
seen Murder Mystery. I'm not watching Hubie Halloween before this.
Yeah, 100% I will.
I'll have 100%. A colonoscopy before I watch Hubie Halloween.
I'm telling you right now that I am never watching this movie again. And let me say this. There are very, very few films that I say this about, especially with a cast I like. Even when a sequel comes out for this film, I will not watch it. I am not going to waste another 2.5 hours. Like, as much as, I don't think I've ever said that before. But with this film, not doing it.
Yeah, I'll watch the sequel.
I knew you would. Well, you can do it solo on the show.
This film is so egregiously bad.
Yeah.
And his early films are so fantastically good
that you're hoping.
I can't not watch the next Matthew Vaughn film. Because the film before this is The Kingsman. And I genuinely really liked it. It was probably in my top 10 of the year, maybe.
Yeah, right.
I had a great time with it. I really enjoyed it. The one before that, I cut my nads off before I watched it again, The Golden Circle. So it's I'm a gambling man. I'll roll the dice. The next Argylle might be the best thing of the year, or it could be, I could hate myself after watching it. So, I will actively warn people not to see this film.
Yep.
Because it is the worst thing of the year. It would be in my top 5 worst things probably of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And part of that is anticipation because I was looking forward to it so much. Part of it is just the fact that it's objectively awful.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I'll watch the next one.
Okay, I don't want to end. I mean, I don't think we've really said virtually anything positive this entire episode. Have you watched anything else good this week? Like,
look, the cast are all good. Dua Lipa's hot.
Can you tell me one good thing you watched this week? Something other than this. Let's cleanse the palate. Let's have like a little mint slice.
Oh, I watched John Carter with the kids.
Oh yes, that's a great movie. Oh,
what do we do? I'm working through stuff. So we do John Carter. Fucking hell! What were the other two? Shit! Tell me something good you've watched while I quickly check Letterboxd.
I mean, you know how much I love John Carter, and you know who else? Our mate Sean Carney, who joined us for Best of the Year. He, as well as me, also had John Carter in his Best of 2012 when we did that episode last year. So, fuck, I love that movie. I actually really liked May December. I've spoken to a lot of people who didn't
really
like
see it.
I liked it. It's not for everyone. I totally get people who don't like it, but I was on board. I enjoyed my time.
I tried to see it because we were going to do that and the aforementioned fucking dung heap of a film. And fucking nowhere is playing it near me.
Oh, right.
I know. You're Canberra, you've probably got dendies on every corner. I've got to drive an hour to get to a fucking dendy. So that didn't help. I watched, while I searched for the shit I was going to talk about, the new Jack Whitehall comedy special on Netflix.
Yeah, right.
Very good.
Okay.
Highly recommended. Okay. Also watched Evolution with the kids.
Okay, that's a great movie. That's a really great movie. I mean, I love Duchovny.
Mental blanking on the other one. There was one other thing I watched with them. Can't think what it was.
Sounds like you and the kids had a great weekend of movies, though. I mean, John Carter and Evolution are two of my favorites.
And I finished off The Brother's Son on Netflix.
That was I've been keen on watching that. Yeah. Well, next week we're taking a break from movies. Next week we're going to go back to music, I think, and do our.
Yes, I've been looking forward to this.
We're going to do a playlist of. Are we going to do cover songs?
Yeah, we are.
All right.
I think we are, aren't we? We are.
For sure. For sure. I actually, you know what? I don't think we're going to have much crossover there.
It's a big fucking pool to draw from. I'm going to struggle to do just 10.
Yeah. And obviously we're not allowed any crossover, so...
No.
But I don't know how much we'll have anyway. Probably just,
Good. Whoever goes galloping for Gary Jules first.
Yeah. Shatner. Yeah.
Fuck, I've forgotten you.
Oh, I shouldn't have said Shatner.
No. I hadn't forgotten Shatner. I'd forgotten that you were familiar with Has Been.
Oh, one of the best albums of all time. I love Has Been. Oh, were you gonna pull it out on Perfect Album?
No, I tried that's how I know you're familiar, because I think I tried that one of the very first episodes. It's like, surely you're not familiar with this.
Oh man, I love Has Been.
Oh well, if you are we allowed to have the same artist but different tracks?
Yes.
Maybe I'll go Mr. Tambourine Man then.
Oh yeah, Rocket Man.
Mr. Tambourine Man.
So that's next week. Speaking of perfect artists, if you want to get more of those, you can head on over to our Patreon page. Patreon.com/We Watched a Thing. Well, I think we're recording episode 30 tonight. So we're a good, 20 to 25 episodes ahead of the main feed here. So definitely go and check that out if you're enjoying that series.
And they get better and better as they go along. So if you're just listening to the freebie ones that are popping up, I mean, they're good, but you
can get in touch with us at We Watched a Thing, or at wewatchedathing.com, or wewatchedathing@gmail.com, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, and X, all under the handle at We Watched a Thing. And we'll catch you next week.
Go give us a 5-star review. We've done it for you. You owe us
do
one.
that. Yeah.